Hello, everyone. My name is Lydia Martinez, and I am here today with Mo, who is the Director of Community Outreach for the Other Side Village. Mo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing really well, thank you.
Nice.
Here in Utah this week, we had a relatively big snowstorm.
Yeah,
Um,
it was.
And, a lot of us during this snowstorm, we had the option and ability to stay at home and to bundle up and, to have a hot drink. And a lot of us were able to choose if we, went out that day to go grocery shopping or to go to work. But on days like this and weeks like this, where it's really cold and there's a lot of snow, something that I think a lot of people do not think of is what it is like to not have a home in the winter. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today, Mo, with you specifically, because you've got some firsthand knowledge of this. You've been homeless yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. For over 10 years, I was homeless in San Francisco's Tenderloin district. And, I went through a lot of winters. And, to start off with, there's a lot of things that we take for granted, uh, not just throughout the year, but the winters in particular, because we know that if we have a home, we have heat. A lot of us have loved ones and we have support, we have a community. That's the start of it right there. And then whatever it is we have going on in our life, whether it be headed to work, headed to school, headed to pick up kids, drop off kids, in the back of our minds, we know that at the end of the day, we have a warm home to come home to.
Yeah.
That's something to look forward to. We have a home that we can come back to. We know that we have, food in our cupboards, uh, just basic food, clothing, and shelter. It's all there in our home. And being homeless, you don't have those luxuries. You can start to see the weather starting to get cold, whether it be rainy, or whatever the winter brings, and your mind starts spinning. How am I going to make it through this day? How am I going to start my day? Where am I going to be? Because wherever it is that you manage to sleep for that night, it may be in a location where folks come by and say, "Hey, you need to move. You need to leave this location." And so after you pack up, it's the entire day spent. How can I get shelter, and how can I get warmth? That's what it looks like, and those are just a few of the things that we take for granted.
Yeah.
Folks that have a home and heat,
Yeah.
those types of things. Yeah.
I had the opportunity to visit one of our local homeless encampments with you last week. And one of the women that I got to talk to there, she said, I carry everything with me all day, every
Yeah.
day. If I leave this spot, anything that is slightly important to me comes with me. And she's like, she basically said it was because she did not know if it wasn't on her body, she did not know if she would come back and it would be gone,
Yeah.
you know? And that's something else that I think a lot of us take for granted, that for the most part, if something is inside our house, it's going to be there when we come back. And we can't
Yeah.
imagine otherwise.
Absolutely. That's huge out there. So many times, because of the conditions that I myself was in, being homeless, you kind of find wherever it is possible that you can, get underneath or get inside, and so that you're warm, so that you're away from the elements. A lot of the time, I would say the majority of the time, everything I owned was on me. And you go through this period of time where you accumulate different things, whether it be clothes, whether it be items, or what have you. It gets to a point where you just can't lug everything around. And so there was plenty of times where I left for the day and all my belongings were there, and I got back, and that area, that homeless camp where I was in, was swept, and everything is gone, and so you begin the process of starting all over again, as opposed to someone who has a house. You know that when you get home, your clothes are going to be hanging up in in your closet. Your bicycle is going to be in the garage. Your family, your life is going to be there. Just a
Yeah.
few major things that we just don't think about during a regular day.
Well, and imagine going back to the place where you were sleeping at night and everything you own is gone, and you don't have the capability to say, just go to the store and buy another blanket. You don't have a car to go to another store. You don't have a bicycle to go to another store. You don't have money to buy something. And so that loss is just magnified when you are homeless, um,
Yeah,
in ways that
absolutely.
people don't anticipate.
Yeah. Not only that, your health as well. You're not in the health system. You may have some ailments where you say, what, I know I need medical attention, but I know if I go to this emergency room, if I go to any kind of and get any kind of medical attention, that's going to be a bill and I'm already bankrupt as it is. But a bill, a big medical bill has just really put me uh, in a negative. And so a lot of people that are homeless, including myself, had different ailments. I went for the longest with a hernia issue, and I just went on and on until I got to a point where I couldn't do anything about it, and I had to go to and have an emergency procedure done. And so the other thing as well is just basic safety. It's not safe out there being homeless. You know that if you have a home, you can come home and you can lock your door. You can have a security system. You're around like-minded people that are looking out for each other. It's not like that when you're homeless and you're in a homeless camp. It's pretty much you're out for yourself. The condition that you're in, the very nature of it is that I'm concerned about me, and it's just something we don't look at.
Yeah.
Leaving our homes for the day. It's nothing that we think about throughout the day. Is I wonder if my house is going to be there when I get home. I wonder if my car is going to be there.
Yeah.
We pretty much know that those things will still exist.
One of the other challenges, I think, are all the risks associated with trying to keep warm. Um, you know, whether there's dangers associated with that, whether you manage to find like a small heater, or a propane fueled heater, or build a fire, or pile on blankets. What is it like trying to stay warm when it is literally freezing cold outside?
You know what? A lot of times, what homeless people do, including myself, is that you go into an abandoned building, and so, a lot of times these abandoned buildings are unsafe. They're dilapidated. They're caving in, and you just kind of put yourself at risk of that building collapsing, electrical fires, and then you got to stay warm. And sometimes, in my experience, people, started fires to keep warm.
Mm.
And not only is it unsafe for yourself, but the surrounding community as well. You're at a possibility of setting that building on fire and putting others in danger
Yeah.
as well.
I also understand that there's some risk of like CO2 poisoning, things like that from, space heaters and tents and without a proper ventilation, which a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, a lot of times I've heard stories of folks having those type of heater systems in their tents and just not even know that they were exposed. And people woke up. There's a few stories of some people that died that inhaled it and just didn't know and just died in their sleep. So yeah, there's a lot of different health risks that you are subject to and you subject yourself to
Yeah.
uh, when you're homeless. So yeah, absolutely.
The other thing that I think, a lot of times people do not think about or don't realize is, a concern, is the fact that if you are hungry, you do not have a quick and easy way to just grab food. I can go to my fridge anytime. There's always food there. And that is a true luxury that a lot of the world does not have. And especially people that are homeless. What is it trying to figure out where your next meal is coming from? What is that like?
Well, a lot of it depends on your location. If you're in, a city area where They provide meals. You can get in there, but if you're in a situation where you just can't get there and you need to eat right then and there, obviously you're going to go into a store and you're going to commit a crime, whatever it takes to get food, whatever it takes to get money to get food. That's exactly what you're going to do. And so those are the situations that you're in. There is no cupboards, there is no refrigerator, there is no stove, there is no place where you can go and cook. And so those are the things that you deal with on a daily basis that ordinary people that live in homes and apartments just don't have to consider throughout your regular day.
Mhm. One of the final challenges that I wanted to talk about that I think is another thing people really take for granted is the fact that if you're homeless and you have the ability to work and you would like to get a job, that is almost impossible to do without an address.
Yeah, not necessarily impossible to do because there's a lot of other moving pieces as well.
Yeah.
Um, the main thing is that sometimes things don't line up. You may get a job and you're homeless. And so at the end of the day, everybody else is going on to their homes and you're on the streets. You may be up all night looking for a place. You may be in a place where it's unsafe to even try and go to sleep. So you just stay up all night. You may be in a place where there's no access to showers. And so, a lot of times you're just going to work with the same clothes on, or sometimes you may have to stop off in a restaurant. You may have to stop off at a gas station to kind of shower up and get ready for work. So it
Mhm.
makes it really difficult to maintain employment and be encouraged to go to work every day.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, so the Other Side Village, what we are trying to do is provide 450 cottage style homes to provide supportive housing for Salt Lake City's chronically homeless population. For those that don't know, just take a moment and explain what the hope is for providing these actual homes for individuals in our community.
Absolutely. It's a game changer to be able to walk into a brand new house, fully furnished, with all the appliances and all the goodies that come along with a home. We understand the importance of that, but the real work is in getting the person to do a behavior change, because myself included, and the folks that I've been working with the last 4 or 5, 6 months, is that we've had housing vouchers at some point. We've had housing at some point. The
Mm.
issue is, what is the problem that prevents us from maintaining it? And so that's what we address first. Is we want to see, why is it that a person is homeless in the first place? Is it mental illness? Let's address that. Let's get
Yeah.
some services together. If a person needs to get stabilized and needs to get back on medication, we do that. If it's a person that they've had problems maintaining housing in the past because of, maybe it be crack, heroin, meth, or whatever, or alcohol, or whatever it may be, then that's the issue we need to address first.
Mm.
That's what we need to stabilize first, because once we take care of that, then a person will be in a position to actually maintain housing. And so, yes, housing is a big piece of it, and the homes that we're building in a small home village is crucial. But we want to make sure that we give folks a fighting chance, and that means let's take a hard, honest, truthful look at why we're in that position in the first place, and then let's find out what services and what kind of help that person needs, and we begin there.
And then beyond that, providing a community as somebody
Absolutely.
is stabilized, providing a community and a support system of people that understand where they've been. Um,
Absolutely, yeah. It has to be our version. It has to be a community that's similar to all the communities that exist around the world. A person has to be in that community, because that's when you have somebody that cares about you. That's when you have somebody who has met you, formed that relationship. It's one on one. It's heart to heart. It's human to human, and we know each other, and we
yeah.
can get an idea of what that person needs going forward. There has to be trust built There has to be a relationship built. At first, I have to trust you and know that you have my best interests at heart. And so that's how we start
Yeah.
in this community. A community is how a person thrives. That's how you learn in the community. That's where you're able to make a mistake and then have somebody that has your back and is concerned about you, that says, "Hey, grab my hand. We're going to walk and we're going to do this together. We're going to do it day in and day out." That's how you move the needle with this population and with the homeless crisis.
Absolutely. So our goal is that we're moving towards this, and there's still a lot of steps in the process. But our goal is to get the village built, at least phase one, in 2022. And right now we are doing a fundraiser for furnishing some of the cottage style homes. We've already lined up funding to build the first phase one homes,
Yeah.
but we want someone to be, when they arrive at the village, um, they get to pick their home, and it will be furnished and stocked and ready to go for them. And so we're literally holding a fundraiser right now for things like, furnishing and appliances and, bed sheets and towels and things, toiletries, things that will um, be there when someone arrives so that they are set up um, right from the get go
Hmm.
in a place that feels like home.
Yeah.
So we're going to pop the fundraising link into the comments. Um, but Mo, why is this something that would be worthwhile for people to consider for their holiday giving?
Yeah, absolutely. Once a person gets into a house and you start to get your life back, and you go out for the day, whether you're employed or whatever it may be, in your mind, you're thinking, you know what? I can't wait to get back to my house. Why is it? It's because I have a beautiful bathroom. I have, hot running water. I have a beautiful bed to come home with. My place was furnished with, artwork that
Yeah,
inspires. We have the latest, kitchen appliances, a couch, a place where you can entertain a guest, a nice television, maybe a front porch to sit on, something that says, you know what, I love this place. And I want to keep it and maintain. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my house. I'm proud of my community, and I want to maintain it. It's a game changer to be able to have those things and walk into a brand new home. Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. Well, Mo, thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks for painting that picture and helping us understand, from the perspective of somebody that's truly lived on the street, some of those challenges and things. We really appreciate your time today, and
Absolutely.
have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, everybody, for who tuned in. And again, we've got that link in the comments if you'd like to go check out how to donate. Any dollar amount is very much appreciated. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you.